Rise the tide. Happy day, everybody. Joe Guam here. Hey, listen, today I want to talk to you guys about what I do or what I did before when I would get nervous for a gig. So what do I do? What do you do if you get nervous for a show? Maybe it's your first time. You know, I've been fortunate. I've been playing shows and playing professionally for going on 20 years now. So I've had a lot of practice at it to the point where, you know, nerves kind of doesn't really bother me anymore, and I'm fortunate for that. I'm really thankful that I've had the opportunity to get over nerves. But if you're just starting out, yeah, I got nervous when I just started out. Of course, I think everybody does when it's something new, right? So what do you do if you're getting nervous, you have to play a show, you're starting out, and how do you go about it? Well, what I do and what I can, the best, you know, advice I can give, and the way I approached it is, I always think about serving the event. And I think if you've watched the previous episodes, you've heard me talk about this before. So here's kind of an analogy when I think about. When you go to a restaurant and a server or a bartender serves you a drink or your order or your food, do you think that they're nervous for serving you? Most of the time they're not. And a lot of the reason why they're not nervous serving you is because they're not placing themselves above you. You know, they're not necessarily placing themselves below you. That's not the case. But they're not placing themselves above you. So there isn't an expectation that's providing some sort of, you know, extra nerves to serving you. And they definitely want to do a good job. And they want to give you everything they can in terms of service, right? So you usually don't see waiters or waitresses that are nervous. Now, mind you, you have to know and practice your craft. So, of course, if they just put a waiter or a server out on the floor who has no training or no knowledge of what they need to do, of course that person's going to be nervous. That's not nerves, that's lack of preparation. So there's a difference there. But let's say that person has been well trained, they've studied the menu, they know, you know, how to be a server, they've been trained. Now it's time for them to go perform on their own and perform solo on their own. They usually don't get nervous because, again, coming from the point that they're serving you, they're not placing themselves above you. So I speak, I've never been a server myself. I've been a bartender in some small capacities, but I've actually been a part of F&B and played music in the food and beverage industry for years. So I understand servers. I have a lot of friends who are servers, but when I think about it and you look at the person at the restaurant, are they nervous when they come up to serve you? Most of them are really friendly and happy, and we love that. That's kind of how I feel when I step on stage. If there's an audience, whether there's 10 people or 1,000 people, I'm the same person, and I always think about how do I serve these people who are graciously giving me their time, sometimes giving their money if they came to, you know, pay to see me play. How do I serve these people what they came here for, which is the music, right? So I step up there and I think I don't place myself above them. I always try to figure out how can I serve them the music. Now you also have to think about, you know, perfecting your craft, right? Which is, if we use the analogy of the server, the craft and perfecting it is the food on the plate. So the food on the plate has to be good in order for, you know, the whole transaction or the whole service to even be worthy of their time. So you have to perfect your craft. You have to go home and practice and make sure, you know, you can play clean chords and you can play, you know, clean licks and everything. So I think I just messed up a clean lick right there, so I need to practice more. But yeah, you have to perfect your craft. And once you've rehearsed enough and mastered your craft to the point where you feel like you can perform it, then it comes to the point where how do you serve it? So if it's a perfectly cooked steak on a plate that you ordered and you love it a lot, but the server comes up to you and just throws it in your face, you know, or throws it on the table with no smile on their face, and they're just mad. I mean, you wouldn't appreciate that. That's not something that you would necessarily, you know, gravitate to, or that's probably not something you'd come back for. So the same thing, I think about the same thing with the music. So I want to perfect the craft. I want to make sure, you know, my music is clean, and I'm doing everything I can to rehearse and master the piece that I need to perform. But at the same time, how I deliver it to the audience. I get up on stage, I want to try my best to smile. You know, there's some times where you're concentrating so hard, it's almost impossible to smile, and I think people are okay with that. But for the meantime, when I'm talking to people in between songs, I try to be as friendly as possible. I try to serve them the musical offering, you know, with this basically how I would want it served to me. So how you serve it is also very important and as critical as what's being served. So the next time, if you think you're nervous and you need to, you know, you need to go out there and you need to put on a show or do a performance, and you're getting a little bit nervous, just think about serving them. Think about, hey, listen, you know, I'm here to give as much as I can and serve as much as I can to these people, and you want to go out there and do it, you know, and serve it to them how you'd want it to be served to you. So I hope this helps. Definitely get in your preparation, because, you know, just being prepared already kind of gets you half the way over those nerves, and just rely on your training, rely on your practicing, rely on your preparation. I hope it helps. What do you guys do for nerves? How do you guys get over, you know, nervousness, if that's something that you deal with? I'd love to hear. Please let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this Rise the Tide episode, and please subscribe or stay tuned. We got more coming your way. So Rise the Tide, everybody. It's Zeus Mossy.